Hey y'all, it's Kermeshea and it's time for Who Told You That? So today's Who Told You That? It's not really a cliche, it's more about changing a mindset. I've often heard people say you need to own your problems, you need to fix your problems. But as I grow older, I realize that there are some problems in life that I'm not going to be able to fix on my own. I wanted to share with you a recent happening in my life where the mindset of fixing my own problems caused me a lot of unnecessary frustration. Well, what I should have done was cast the whole of my care on the Lord and waited for Him to fix my problem. Anyone who knows me has often heard me say that I love my job. I find it to be rewarding and satisfying while at the same time allowing me the flexibility to be present and available for my children. About 9 months ago, there were some changes to my job that forced me into a position that I will just describe as less than satisfactory. It wasn't that the job was a life altering change, it was just a change that I had not expected, one that I did not actively seek out, and one that was a complete deviation from the job that I held at the time. I moved into the role thinking that it would be short term and I would quickly find another opportunity. Well, it didn't happen like that. And by mid May, I was beginning to realize that I might find myself committed to this change for longer than I had anticipated. I kept thinking, I need to fix this. So I gave my best efforts to maneuver my way into a different position. I propositioned management for a promotion and failed. I applied for a new role and failed. The interesting thing about the interview process is that I interviewed well and I left the interview feeling confident. I knew that I'd articulated my strengths and highlighted my professional accomplishments successfully. But by the Wednesday after my interview, I had not heard back from the recruiter. I know my next statement is going to sound a little spooky, and to some of you, you may not even believe me, but I heard very clearly in my spirit God say, you're going to get a call from the recruiter Friday at 1 o'clock, and you're going to be fine. Well, Friday at 1 o'clock, I received a message from the recruiter to give her a call. I was not the successful candidate, defeated once again. The feedback from the recruiter was that the interviewers thought that I was not mean enough and I would not be able to tell someone no. Now, there's been some change in my personality. However, I am still fiery and I know how to handle myself in difficult situations. Nowhere along the way have I lost my ability to compassionately and with conviction say no. Needless to say, I was hurt and I did not get the promotion, but I was fine. I accepted it. I still felt like I needed to fix my situation. I was growing impatient. It had been almost 6 months since the changes first began, and I'd taken on this new role. I was frustrated every day, and it just increased day over day. I even had a conversation with God. God, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not winning when I'm supposed to win? But sometimes we have to recognize that what we deem to be a loss is really all a part of God's perfect plan for our lives. I held fast to my belief. I prayed. The heart of the king is in the Lord's hand, and he turns it which way he wills. Promotion is coming from God. There were days when I would become so frustrated with the things that were happening relative to my job that I considered quitting my job. But quitting wasn't what I wanted. I enjoy working for the company that I work for. I just wanted a promotion into a job that I chose for me and not one that I was placed in. I know I probably sound like I was being ungrateful, especially because I had a job and so many people don't in today's economy. But I wasn't being ungrateful. In fact, in the moments when I would be so overwhelmingly frustrated, I would turn on some worship music and offer up a sacrifice of praise just to remind myself that God was still in control. I would thank Him for His goodness towards me and express gratitude for all that I had. Even though I was miserable in my job, I still praised Him and believed Him for my turnaround. But still, I kept trying to fix it. I was praying, but honestly, I wasn't allowing God to lead or direct my steps. Instead of seeking and following Him, I was in a, why don't you follow me, God, while I seek this new job mode. In the midst of all of it, I remained committed to my current job. I even accepted additional responsibilities. I trained other people around me to do the job that I held and took on additional projects. Coworkers would look at me and say, why are you doing all this? You are playing right into what they want, which is wanting you to do more for less money. But they didn't understand that I was positioning myself for promotion. And I needed to make sure there would be no hindrances for me to immediately accept the promotion when the time came for me to be promoted. I needed to be ready when the time came. And by taking on additional responsibility, I was increasing my capabilities. I wasn't trying to hear all of the negativity from folks that couldn't understand what I desired. I just could not allow what other people thought of what I was doing to keep me from reaching my goal. Well, 1 week after being informed that I was not the successful candidate for the promotion, I received another piece of unsettling information that my job was changing once again. This would be the third time in a 7-month period. I wasn't happy about it, but what was I going to do? In my mind, I was still not winning. I continued to search for new opportunities. Faith without works is dead, so I couldn't sit around waiting for God to drop a job in my lap, and I kept my mouth shut. I stayed committed to my belief. I wasn't having pity parties and inviting whoever would listen to come and sit and party with me. I had an old manager that I knew would pray with me, and she and my husband were the only people that knew the depth of the internal conflict that I was facing with my job. Well, 3 weeks ago, as I was looking through open opportunities on the company's intranet, I saw a posting for a job that I've always been interested in, but these jobs don't become available too often. As a matter of fact, in the 7 years that I've worked for this company, I've only seen the role available once. So I applied. Within 2 days, I had an interview with the recruiter who happened to be the same recruiter that delivered the bad news to me 30 days earlier. The recruiter pushed to have me interviewed before the Christmas holidays. So 3 days from that interview, I was going to the second round of interviews. Now here's where my prayers started to work. I'd worked on projects with all the interviewers in the past, so they knew the work that I was capable of doing. Well, here's my good news and where my victory came. I got a call from the recruiter last week. I got the job, and it's even more than I anticipated. Through prayer, my desires reached the heart of God, and he started to set things in motion to activate his plan. And when that plan merged with his timing, there was not a devil in hell or a person on earth that could stop the plan from coming to fruition. So while I was doing all that trying to fix it on my own, becoming discouraged by what appeared to be failure, God was carefully orchestrating my win. The promotion is awesome, but knowing that God's word is truth and that I can safely trust him time and time again is comfort enough in the times when things aren't progressing as quickly as I think they should. So what I would say to you is to do your part to be ready. Remain committed to what you believe and make your desires known to him and let God fix it. You know, these Who Told You That are about me sharing my opinions, my life, my experiences with you in hopes that my words will give you hope of liberation for freedom in your own life. Remember that God is always in control. Even when you feel out of control, he has the final say. I'm not giving you a naming and claiming it. I'm giving you what's real. What's, for me, so long I had a warped perception of who God is and what he wants from me because of what I was taught to believe. But I'm growing and learning to see him for who he truly is. And hopefully you and I can continue to grow together and live the better life that he's promised for all of us. Thank you. Have a great day.